entire communication model. We all know that we communicate to each other in 4 different ways, okay, as a human being. So we know how to speak, we know how to write, we know how to read, and we also know how to listen. But you know what is the highest percentage of all these four? First comes listening with 45 percentage out of 100. And then comes speaking. And then comes reading. And then comes writing. But our education system has made us practice the communication from the reverse side. Now, if you have to re-engineer yourself on the communication process, you got to start listening more. And that's why we're being given 2 ears and only 1 mouth. With that note, now that you know why it is important to listen, it is also, you can apply this to anybody, whether it is your spouse, parent communication, or if it's with your parents, with a friend during a friendly conversation, or with your business partner, or with your client, or to a master, to your mentor. So the process is the same, but the applicability can vary from different person to person and different situations. And they also say, if you're able to communicate to a 6-year-old and to a 60-year-old effectively, that means you're a great communicator. You know why? Because they don't want you to speak. Instead, they want you to listen more. Okay? I am practicing the listening practice more and more every day. Not that I don't have the practice of listening, but I started to understand the importance of it, and I started to enjoy the process because it has given me a lot of benefits. Because we spend time in communication, we think that we are communicating because we want the other person to listen. We want the other person to understand more. But the beauty is, more than the verbal part of it, the non-verbal, the one which is communicated in silence, is what is the beauty of the entire communication process. And if you understand that more, it is even more easier for you to adapt. Okay, now how do we approach this, and what is the advantages of doing it so? So when you want to start listening, do this with more of to understand more about that person. Create that interest. You should develop that interest to know the subject, either the topic or the person opposite to you, and also within yourself. The subject can be you also. So in that note, if you start developing the interest on the topic or the person opposite to you and the person inside you, you will know that there is a fair chance in taking this communication to a success goal. Obviously, the goal is to either that person has to hear you, or you both are arriving at a particular solution. So there will be a fair chance that the moment you develop that interest and in the other person will definitely see through it, and they will give you the same chance when you want to talk to them. Okay, so that is becoming a healthy conversation. And the second point can be, in case you are looking forward to resolve, the more you start noticing the non-verbal cues is when you will start understanding what is their intentions. What is, they say read in between lines, right? The more you start noticing their non-verbal cues like body language, facial expressions, what do their eyebrows say when they speak? Do they frown, or do they do like this? What do their eyes do? Do they look up? Do they look down? And how do they keep their hands? Do they join their hands, or do they keep floating their hands in the air? So what does it tell you? Are they nervous? Are they tight-fitted? Or are they free? So those are the cues that you will get to understand. And the more you start listening to all this, you will get to know their intentions, and you will also get to know the goals. Okay? This way, you can start approaching the goal very easily. Suppose you're conversing and you start listening more, there's a fair chance that you can also control your own emotion. You may have a lot to say, maybe a lot of negative about the other person. But the more you start listening, there's a fair chance that you can control your emotions and you can reserve a lot of comments within yourself, and that way you can escape a lot of fights it was supposed to have happened. Well, as I said, all these 3 points: one, develop that interest in the subject, and not just with the other person, also within you. You can start looking at your own mind voice, listening to your own mind voice, because mind voice is constantly telling you something. You will start listening more to that and also responding appropriately. You will have a full control of it if you start listening more. Second thing is, you can arrive at successful solutions if you are able to listen more and you are developing a empathy skill, because empathy can only be expressed if you have the listening. And the third important thing is, you can control your own emotion. So with that note, how do you listen effectively, or how do you know that communication is success? So that is for a different day. So I'll see you in the next